It's your boy, The Marvelous Knight, coming at you with another new review. Had to take a couple of days to let it sink in a little bit before I do the review. No, I'm just lying. I was just lazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was lazy. I'm on vacation. That's why I look like a bum right now. I'm on vacation. I'm enjoying it. But today it felt good. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get this review out the way for no other than Spider-Man No Way Home. So, this is going to be what I call a double-edged sword review, since I'm The Marvelous Knight. And what double-edged sword reviews would be, first half of the review will be non-spoiler. Rest of the review will be all spoilers to get to what I want to talk about. This film was directed by Jon Watts again, and it's Marvel and Sony's partnership over the web slinger. Let's get that out the way. We all know that. And stars your boy Tom Holland, Zendaya. Let me get the rest of these cast member names out the way. We got Marissa Tomei. If I pronounced the last name wrong, I'm sorry. Who plays the beautiful Aunt May. And we got some first and second Spider-Man film cast members returning. We got your boy William Dafoe, who played the Green Goblin in the Sam Raimi's trilogy. We got Thomas Haden Church, who played Sandman in Spider-Man 3. And then we got Alfred Molina, who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. Then we got your boy Jamie Foxx, and then who played Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then we got Ryan Reynolds, who played the Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man, the first movie. So, going into this movie, I was hyped. I was excited. I stayed away from spoilers. I stayed away from social media a little bit. And my expectations of this film was blown out of the way. But getting back to the cast, I just forgot my boy Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays the Dr. Stephen Strange, is also in this film. And basically what this film is about, it picks up right where Far From Home left off, where Mysterio blasts Spider-Man's true identity as Peter Parker out and framed him for the chaos that he caused in London. And everybody knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. My man is going through it. You got J.K. Jonah Jameson, who's up there bashing him, and who's got his career just delivering that news, because one point in the film he wasn't, as big as he is. But his girlfriend MJ, she can't get into college. His best friend Ned can't get into college because they affiliated with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's going through it. He's wishing that he can goes away. So he goes and then he finds Doctor Strange. And he asks Doctor Strange, is there any way he could go back in time and make it so he never did? Like Doctor Strange told him, hey, yeah, don't have the time stone anymore. So Doctor Strange, remember there's a memory spell that he can cast that'll make everyone forget that he is Spider-Man. And Peter, of course, didn't want his girlfriend not to know, and his best friend, and his Aunt May. And yeah, so that's where all the chaos begins, and we get a sort of multiverse thing that brings back some of these villains from past films or universes, like Jamie Foxx's Electro, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, William Dafoe's Green Goblin, Thomas Haden Church's Sandman, and the Lizard, right? And I want to say that this wasn't fan service, right? They didn't do this. Oh yeah, the fans is gonna love. No, each character except Lizard and Sandman, they was kind of the bench warmers of this, but they had purpose. You know, it was a reason why um, it was an obligation if you know to not once they learned their true fates to not end up like that, right? So off the back, I just got to say, William Dafoe. I see why he was picked as the Green Goblin, and he shows us in this film not only remind us why he was cast as the Green Goblin. Dude steals the scenes that he's in, right? Jamie Foxx, I loved him as Electro. That's the only reason why, me personally, that I liked The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was because of Jamie Foxx as Electro. But in here, he's way better than he was in there without the blue CGI and stuff like that, right? Alfred Molina is still charming as the Doc Ock and stuff like that. So we got the glimpse of that out the way, right? So Peter, as he learns what happened to these guys, he wants to try to save them before he sends them back to their respected universes. And I have to say, man, like I said, this movie, I already had high expectations. It literally obliterated my expectations. This could be argued as one of the greatest superhero films of all time, one of the greatest Marvel films of all time. But without a shot of doubt, this is one of the greatest Spider-Man films of all time. This gets a 100 out of a 100. That's how good this film was. I mean, you're going to cry. You're going to laugh. You're going to smile. You're going to feel all these emotions running inside. You're going to lose your shits, right? And so, 100 out of 100. I mean, but on a movie scale, it gets a 10 out of 10. This is one of the greatest Spider-Man films of all time. It can be argued as one of the greatest superhero films of all time, one of the greatest MCU / Marvel films of all time. And my personal favorite, I mean, I gotta rearrange my top 5 Marvel movies because this is sitting at the top, sitting at the top, first place. This is one of my favorite Marvel films of all time. Now, with that being said, I enjoyed the movie. I loved it. I hope many of you see it. Now we're finna go into spoiler talk so I can talk about some of the shit that happened. So if you haven't seen the movie, this is the time right now to exit out. Stop the video. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't seen the movie, here comes the spoilers. Holy fucking shit! We get Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Oh my god. Woo! I just want to say, the people that was complaining and shit about the trailer or whatnot, of them not being in the trailer, if you seen the movie and you were one of the people that was complaining, I bet you feel fucking stupid right about that. I bet you do. I bet you do. They didn't need to be in the trailer. And in the scene where Spider-Man swinging, he's fighting Sandman, Electro, and the Lizard. Spider-Man's up here and the Lizard's jumping this way. You're like, who the hell he's jumping to? Yeah, it's a deep fake. It was actually the other Spider-Mans. And we get to see what they've been up to since then we last saw them. And it was incredible. Tobey Maguire still can capture the presence as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield, I liked him in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. He was cool in the Amazing Spider-Man. I liked him in the Amazing Spider-Man. He was cool in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, right? It's just that storyline was just kind of bland to me a little bit, per se. And then his Harry being the Green Goblin, yeah, I don't really care about that. But this here works. I know there was doubt about cramming all these villains in one movie like Sam Raimi did in the Spider-Man 3 with Venom and Sandman and New Goblin and stuff like that. This wasn't like that. This was done right. It was done better than I thought it would have been done. And we finally get to see Tom Holland Spider-Man not be considered as a kid or a young Spider-Man or some people's Spider-Boy or whatever. He becomes a man at the end of this film. And sadly that he had to do that with the death of his Aunt May. But hey, you know, and it was kind of cool that because we know that for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, it was their Uncle Ben's. For Tom Holland, it's his Aunt May. And the two Uncle Bens, when they died, the saying, with great power becomes great responsibility, right? And for Aunt May, she said the exact same thing. But Tom was just in vengeance. When that final battle comes, he takes it to the Green Goblin and he beats his ass, damn near killing him, until my boy Toby jumps in and stops him. Like Tom, he looked at badass, and you were sold. You're already sold him as Peter Parker Spider-Man. That but you were just like, that's it. He's Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man. And I just love the chemistry of Toby, Garfield, and Holland because they were great. 3 Spider-Mans. I loved it when, Toby was asking him, hey, what you putting on your wrist? And it was like, for our web fluid. And he said, And he said, you don't, and Toby shoots it. He has, his organic DNA type webs. And they're asking him, so how do you, and then he was like, it's hard for me to explain and I don't want to be rude or nothing about it, but it's like, I can't explain how I breathe. I just do it. And so it was like, it just does it and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, yeah, we can do that. You know how, did you ever have a web block? He was like, yeah, I did have a web block. And Tom goes, is that the only place that you can make it come out of? And like, so all of the jokes like years from Spider-Man when it comes to his webs and stuff like that, it was cool to see them, address that. That was funny. The part where Toby had to have Andrew crack his back was hilarious because, yeah, he is an older Spider-Man. So I'm glad we saw that. Like, that was just fucking phenomenal. I loved it, right? And and the coolest thing about it is they were able to cure every villain and send them back before they sent them back in their respective universes. Like, they was able to fix Doc Ock and his problem with the chip in the back of his neck to where he's able to control the arms. They were able to turn the Lizard back fully human again. They were able to cure Electro from his powers. They were able to even save Norman and cure him from his Jekyll and Hyde situation that he had going on, right? They was able to cure Sandman, turn him back fully human. And so that was pretty fucking cool because we all know they died fighting Spider-Man. And that was one of the reasons why, Tom and Doctor Strange was going at it a little bit because Doctor Strange knew that, hey, they died fighting Spider-Man in their time, and that's what it is. Tom, we don't, we still save them and stuff like that. Me personally, I would just let them motherfuckers just die. That's just me. They cause too much drama. Okay? I mean, because you want to save them all. Aunt May died. Green Goblin. But yeah, it was cool that they saved them. And like I say, this movie has heart. This movie has pain. You feel it. And if you watch movies like I do, see, when I watch them, I'm in the film. I'm right there. It's like I am one of the Spider-Man just doing all this crap, and that's just how I take it in. But this was incredible. Like, I cannot stress that. You're gonna hear me say that word probably about 20 times when I finish. And John Watts, Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal, uh, whoever else in Sony. I think Sam Raimi came back to direct or produce a little bit in here. You guys did a fucking phenomenal job. Great. John Watts, the things that you have been able to do with the last 3 Spider-Man films of you, sir, mwah, great. Great. Okay? I know this channel wasn't around when those 2 came out, but sir, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I love them all. I love Tom Holland. It was great to get a reminder why I loved Tobey Maguire's and why I loved Andrew Garfield's, right? I just thought when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 came around, the story was just a little bland, a little dry, and a little slow. And it just didn't really and then I wasn't sold on his version, his Harry being the Green Goblin. I wouldn't even serve that guy being Harry Osborn. He just made a terrible Harry, right? But I loved it. It was great. And to the end of the film, to fix everything that was going on in the multiverse, my man Peter had to do the ultimate sacrifice. This time he had to create a new spell to fix everything, because the multiverse was cracking, right? And to do that, he had to make everyone forget he was Peter Parker. Not just Spider-Man, but forget he was Peter Parker. That means everyone wouldn't know who he is. All the past Avengers would not even know him. They wouldn't even remember that they knew him and to forget about him. His girlfriend would have to forget about him. His best friend would have to forget about him. Even Doctor Strange himself would have to forget about him. And that was one of the most saddest parts, because he had to make that ultimate sacrifice to save humanity. And so seeing him have to do that, and hey man, and because I love Tom Holland and Zendaya, and we know that they're dating in real life, and we see the chemistry that they have in film, and I love that. But I just love them as a couple. It works in the film, right? It works in real life, obviously, but just to see that, like, that's Spider-Man. That's who Spider-Man is. That's who we know him to be. Is that he makes these type of sacrifices, and it was great to see him make this. It was hurtful. I felt for him, but he did find them. Find them at the end of the movie. You see Ned got into IT. MJ is working at the diner that she was working at, and he introduced himself. She didn't know who he was, but you tell she can feel they had a little connection. So I can't wait till the next movie. Other things that happened, we got my man Charlie Cox. He made an appearance in the film. We know him. He plays Daredevil in the Netflix TV show, or did, and he's back in the MCU. Also, we got a little cameo from Tom Hardy's Venom, as we know that we was going to get, just like the Venom Let There Be Carnage, right? End credit scene. And so he's in the Tom Holland's universe. He's talking and people are explaining Thanos and all that stuff to him. And eventually he gets sent back to his universe. And Piece of the Symbiote stayed at the bar. So we want to get our own MCU-ish type Venom going on, right? So I wonder who they're going to cast as this MCU's Venom. So it'll be pretty cool. Also, that was the first end credit scene, by the way. Second end credit scene, we get sort of a trailer of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So everything that Doctor Strange did and he thought he fixed, it has repercussions later on in his film, and we got him teaming up with Scarlet the Witch. There's also been confirmed that Loki will team up in this movie as also. And so there's been rumors that we're getting multiple cameos, new Marvel characters will be introduced. Some people hoping that the X-Men will get brought up into this in the fold. We get that's about it. We just see that we get some of the What If storyline with Doctor Strange fighting the evil Doctor Strange. We get that in the trailers also, so I'm very excited for that. So when that comes out, look for a review for that. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Spider-Man No Way Home. Incredible film. I loved it. It's the best Spider-Man film of all time. It's my favorite #1 Marvel film of all time for me. And it can be argued for the greatest superhero / Marvel film of all time also. To each his own. But everything else, man, that was the review. It's probably like one of the longer ones I've ever done. Like I say, it's a double-edged sword review. Non-spoiler for the first 8 minutes or so. And, spoilers here. So let me know if you've seen it. Post down in the comments. What was your favorite part? How did you feel when you saw Toby and Andrew return? What did you think of William Dafoe's performance? In the comments. Thank you. Night out.